Welcome to lesson 13. So we're going to be looking at how we expand algebraic expressions. So a little bit of revision with the distributive law, then we're going to look at some other techniques. So today we're looking at the FOIL method. Super quick resource checklist. You'll need a calculator, notebook, and something to write with, and a good attitude. Probably won't need grid paper for this one. So quick visual cues before we start. The pen symbol means I want you guys. Our goal for this lesson is to review our knowledge of factorizing and expanding and apply this knowledge to complex expressions. So what I'm looking for is you guys correctly writing out the question and you're showing all of your working out. So when we get to use the new methods we're going through, I need to see your working out steps. You can't just give me the answer. And factorizing and expanding are needed to understand quadratic functions, which is something we're going to get into later, and that's going to help you with a really fun assignment later in the year. So I want you guys to remember how to use the distributive law, and I want you guys to expand the following using that distributive law. So pause the video and expand 4 times x take 5 and x times x plus 17. So pause the video and do those two now. So this would have been the working out you would have done, and you would have gotten an answer as 4x minus 20 for the first one, and x squared plus 17x for the second one. So with the distributive law, we multiplied the 4 by both terms in the brackets for the first one, and we multiplied the x at the front to both terms in the brackets in the second one. So important thing to note, we have a factorized form and an expanded form. So the factorized form, usually with 2 sets of brackets or 1 set of bracket, and the expanded form doesn't have any brackets. That's a really easy way to remember it. So we're going to be looking at using a special technique to expand 2 sets of brackets. So that's convert them from the factorized form to the expanded form. So like just said, the factored form has brackets and is shorter. The expanded form has 2 or more terms and is longer. So one method to expand a set of binomial products is the FOIL method. So binomial product is 2 brackets multiplying together where they both have the same variable. So like in the previous slides, you want to go back and have a look at what a binomial product is. It'll be just there. So FOIL is an acronym used to remember the order to multiply each term. So FOIL is just an acronym. So the F stands for first, multiply the first terms in each bracket. O stands for outer, multiply the 2 outer terms. So that's the first term and the last term. So that's the left and right. Inner, I stands for inner, so multiply the 2 inner terms. So they're the terms that are pretty close together, that are separated by 2 brackets. And then the L stands for last, so you're going to multiply the last term in each bracket. So I'm going to use the FOIL method to expand the following binomial product. So we would say this is x plus 1 times x plus 2. So we're going to use the FOIL method to expand this binomial product. So I'm going to expand this expression using the FOIL method. I'm just going to write that up here. FOIL. So I'm going to look at so how we do the FOIL method is that we look at each letter, and each letter represents a different word. So that reminds you the order in which to expand these brackets. So this F here means the first terms. So the first terms, I'm going to write first, nice and neat there. X times X. So that is my first term. So I multiplied the 2 first terms. This O stands for the outer terms. So that means outer are these 2 terms. So on the far left and the far right. So So I'm going to write outer here. And I'm going to multiply those two terms. So my next letter is I. That means the two inner terms. That's this term and this term. Because these are on the insides. So these are the outsides, these two are the insides. So I'm going to write inner here. I'm going to multiply those two terms together. And then we have our last, so our L. So this is the last terms in each bracket. So like our X's were our first terms, our 1 and our 2 are our last terms. So I'm going to write that down here. Last, and I'm going to multiply those two terms together. So now what I'm going to do is add all of these terms together. So I end up with x squared plus 2x plus x plus 2. So I've just added each of these terms along here, and I'm just going to simplify that by collecting some like terms. Forgot my plus. So 2x plus x is 3x. So that is my final answer just there. So the way you would see this working out, you don't need to do this. If you just write this equals this and then this line, I know you've done the FOIL method. I know you've expanded correctly. So this working out is to help you understand how to do the FOIL method. And if you want to do this working out for the first few times you're using the FOIL method, please go ahead. It's different colors, different pens, different styles. You can really clearly show that I've multiplied everything out correctly. What you will notice is that each term gets multiplied twice. That's because there's two terms here, so this x has to multiply to both of them. Light blue and green, light blue and green. This 2 has to multiply to both of these terms. Yellow and red, yellow and red. So that is what the FOIL method is. That is my preferred method for expanding. I know it's very methodical. Once you are really good at understanding this acronym, you can just go straight to this line from here. So that is how we expand using the FOIL method. So the FOIL method will always work. It'll work every single time if you do it correctly. That's something I love about this method. And if it helps, you can draw arrows or you can draw lines. Like I did in the example, I drew lines with colors so I knew where I was up to, what two things I was multiplying. I've seen people draw 2 arrows above, 2 below, and crab claws is what it was called because they look like a set of pincers. And there's other methods as well. If you find another one that you're more comfortable with, you can end up using that method. But I want you guys to have a go at using the FOIL method. That's going to wrap up this lesson. So we're going to complete the worksheet, expanding algebraic expressions. You can read through the textbook. In chapter 7.2, there are some other methods in there. We will go into them a lot later when we deal with quadratics. But if you'd like to have a bit of a sneak peek now, you can. And finally, I'd just like to remind you guys to work slowly through questions. So don't try and get that answer straight away. If you need to do all your working out and do your steps and make sure you're multiplying the stuff correctly in the correct order, do so, because it's very easy to get stuff wrong by missing. Everyone does that, and if you work slowly, you won't actually end up making that mistake. And once again, if you do have questions, you can email me, you can post on Teams, you can post in the OneNote, you can email another teacher, you can look up your favorite YouTuber. Just make sure you're making use of all the different possible resources you can at this point in time. So see you in the next lesson. Have a good whatever day of the week it is when you're viewing this.